A stroke of genius. Trump could be on the receiving end of the same charges used to indict gang members. On Tuesday morning, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis will appear before a judge and make the case, seeking to release a report from a special grand jury that Donald Trump attempted to tamper with the 2020 presidential election results. Next up will be whether she will take that report and pursue a criminal indictment against Trump before another grand jury. According to The Guardian's Carlisa Johnson, there are indications that Willis will pursue charges of racketeering similar to ones she previously used to go after gang members involved in violent acts. With a phone call Trump made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger insisting he find just enough votes to flip the Georgia election results to his favor taking center stage, the report notes that Willis has a strong case with which to proceed. Though no official charges have been brought in the Trump investigation, experts believe that RICO charges are a very real possibility for the former president, Johnson wrote. In an interview, Georgia State University law professor Clark D. Cunningham explained, "Among the things that are considered racketeering activity in the state of Georgia is knowingly and willfully making a false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or representation in any matter within the jurisdiction of any department or agency of state government." Cunningham added, "If you do that, you've committed a racketeering activity. If you attempt to do that, if you solicit someone else to do it, or you coerce someone else to do it, it's all considered racketeering under Georgia law." Of note was Willis hiring RICO expert John Floyd to serve as a special assistant district attorney in 2021, which Cunningham stated was a strong indication of where the investigation is headed and labeled it a stroke of genius. She's received criticism that she's prosecuting cases that are too ambitious or that there's too much of a conspiracy alleged, but she's shown in these cases that she's able to use RICO to prosecute all the way to the top, Cunningham stated before elaborating. There appear to be clear criminal activities, and no matter whether or not the person at the top, in this case, Trump, was directly involved in each activity or not, if he participated in what is shown to be a racketeering organization which stopped the steal, might be, and conspired with others, participated directly or indirectly, he can be shown to have violated the RICO law. DOJ is likely to slap Trump with a appeal-proof charge for January 6th, reporter. After the convictions of additional Oath Keepers on seditious conspiracy charges, calls have grown louder to prosecute former President Donald Trump for the same alleged crime for inciting the January 6th insurrection. The House Select Committee referred the ex-president to the Department of Justice for prosecution on 4 charges, but The Guardian correspondent Hugo Lowell explained to MSNBC's Morning Joe that federal prosecutors will most likely attempt to make a narrow and appeal-proof case against Trump. The Oath Keepers' seditious conspiracy verdicts really come about because the government had concrete evidence that the leaders of the Oath Keepers effectively engaged in political violence to stop the peaceful transfer of power, and because it was presented in that way, and because, the Oath Keepers had a quick reaction force across the river in Virginia. Lowell said, "They had weapons and ammunition, and they were texting about we can come to the Capitol, and, bring fire support if you really need it. I think that's the kind of evidence that's convincing for a jury. It's the kind of evidence that we're missing as of yet with Trump, and that's why I think that the Justice Department is looking more at an obstruction of an official proceeding kind of thing for Trump, as opposed to, seditious conspiracy." Lowell continued, "I don't think it materially makes any difference because they are still really serious felonies, and they carry lengthy prison terms. And the Justice Department doesn't like to score big home runs. They like to score single hits, and if they can find one charge that sticks with Trump, they would much prefer that. They want a sustained conviction. They just don't want a conviction. They want to sustain it upon appeal," he added. "And I think he was talking about how you want to make sure it follows through all the way. They're much more likely to take a lesser charge that is more likely to be sustained than the big charge."